Devin Haney is saying that the fight with Ryan Garcia is going to catapult him into stardom. It's going to initiate him as the new face of boxing. He believes he is the new face of boxing. But in order for him to be the face of boxing, that means he would have to surpass Tank Davis. Some people think it's Canelo, but I think the proof is in the pudding. Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, they broke pay-per-view records. They're on the pay-per-view all-time list. So Tank Davis right now is the face of boxing. Devin believes if he could dominate Ryan, he can become the new face of boxing. And that's what I want to talk about. Personally, I gotta be honest with y'all. Soul Negro says never in a million years. Draven Verse, thanks for liking the live. But honestly, I like Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney could beat Tank in a fight. But do I think Devin will ever be a bigger star than Tank? No. I think Tank has more natural charisma. Tank has that knockout power in both hands. Tank is a more action-packed fighter. There are many heavyweights in the heavyweight division,
What's good,
but
my dude?
able to eclipse Mike Tyson as far as star. Being a pay-per-view star isn't necessarily about how good your boxing skills are. It's about your personality. It's about the way that you perform inside and outside of the ring. How do people vibe with you? Devin is one hell of a boxer, but I don't know if he could be a bigger star than Tank Davis. What's up, Wickedy?
What's good, brother? Hey, I'm not echoing, am I?
Nah.
Okay, cool. All right, can Haney become a bigger star than Tank? If he keeps winning. If he keeps winning. But he will be, I'll tell you this. If Haney wins this fight against Ryan, you know that pretty much turns him into a superstar because you know Ryan's a super popular fighter, right? So it'll put Devin Haney, it'll put his name pretty well known.
Yeah.
It will.
Now, I say that it's not just about winning. I think that if Haney wants to be, yeah, you echoing a little bit. So make sure when you ain't talking, you mute. But I think that if Haney wants to be a superstar, a true superstar, like where people start to recognize him as much as they recognize Tank, because casuals know who Tank Davis is. I went to school out in PA before, and those white boys out there, they knew who Tank Davis was. Now listen, if Haney wants to put his name up there with the stars and shine as the brightest star, he has to knock Ryan Garcia out cold. If he can do that, that would do a lot for his stardom. If he just outboxes him, that's going to give him a few fans. People are going to know who he is, but it's not going to catapult him to the likes of Tank Davis. Tank Davis is famous because he knocks people the fuck out. Tank Davis will knock you out cold. That's why he's famous. So Devin, in this stage, I think he got to get a knockout if he's trying to get stardom. I'm talking about national stardom. This is not going to be enough to make him a global superstar, but this could gain him national stardom in the States. Everybody that's been liking the live, thank you. Double X, thanks for liking the live.
I agree with that because you see the same thing happen with Bivol and Canelo. That should have turned Bivol into a superstar, and it didn't. It just now there's still a lot of people who don't even know Bivol, and he beat the face of boxing. So I agree with that.
Because it's not just about what you do in the ring, man. I was saying it as you joined the live, but there are many heavyweights that were killed Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is one of the most overrated heavyweights of all time. But Mike had a charisma about him, his personality, even the way he talks. I'm Mike Tyson. I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. The way he talks, it reminds people. It's something special about it. And then Mike Tyson, the knockouts, the way he fought. So it's not just what you do in the ring. It's a accumulation of things.
Hey, can Devin become a bigger star than Tank? He can.
How so? K Haven, he said he can. I'm gonna be waiting on you to come. K Haven, you says that he can. How so? How can he become a bigger star than Tank?
As though he can, like just like Floyd, like even at the end of his career, like Devin Haney, potential wise, he can become just as good or better than what Floyd was. Honestly,
You think Devin could be better? How?
I ain't gonna lie. If he can like. If he gets undisputed at 140 and moves up to 147 and does good too, so He could possibly do that. I'm not saying
Okay,
he will become better or anything, but he can definitely become a bigger star than Tank for sure. Especially if he fights
but
him and
I'm
beats him.
saying how saying how though? You saying if he becomes undisputed?
How there's
Do
multiple
you
ways.
understand? But
There's
listen,
multiple
listen.
ways. One, the first way, if he fights Tank and beats him. The
Yeah,
second,
that'd be good.
the second way is if he runs through hella champions,
Okay.
or he fights like Tank fought like heavy punchers, like people that other people watch. If he fights like more like, you know what I mean,
I mean,
like.
he's about to fight Ryan Garcia, but
Yeah, yeah,
listen,
yeah.
man.
Ryan
This is what I
Garcia,
gotta
like
ask
a
you.
big puncher. He's fighting a big puncher that draws in a lot of views. So
All right, I got
that
a
could be.
question to ask you. I got a question to ask you, K. Haven.
What's up?
Did Evander Holyfield beat Mike Tyson?
You said did?
Did Holyfield beat Mike Tyson?
Yes. No question about it.
Hey, did Lennox Lewis beat Mike Tyson?
No question about it.
Were they ever at any point bigger stars than Mike Tyson in a boxing game?
No, they were not.
So Tank Davis taking a loss to Devin Haney, or I should put it like this: Devin Haney beating Tank Davis would not make him a bigger star than Tank. Believe it or not, it's more to it than what you do in a boxing ring. It's a natural charisma,
Yeah.
along with what you do in a boxing ring. Mike Tyson is famous not just because of his voice, you know, he talks special, but the way that he acts, the shit
But
that he
see,
was involved in, as well as his fighting style. He had a very style. He had a very offensive style, a style that gave you produced knockouts,
I
just like
don't
Tank
disagree with
Davis.
you.
So that's why
I,
Tank is famous.
I don't disagree with you, but the difference is say prime Mike Tyson, say Evander Holyfield fought a prime Mike Tyson and beat him. I feel as though I feel as though that was the timing of when Lennox and Evander beat him. I feel like if those were prime versus prime fights, it'd be a different. You know what I mean? I know.
I see what you're
Yeah, for
saying,
sure.
but Roberto Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime, and Roberto Duran was never the star that Sugar Ray Leonard was. Hey, rolling with boxing, what's up, man?
What's
What's
up?
your take on it?
What's up with you?
I don't disagree or agree with like any other, but it would be hard for him to become a bigger star than Tank, though, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, but hold up. Hey, rolling with boxing, what's your take on this, man?
Um, like what you said, it makes sense because you got to have the charisma first. You know what I mean? It's about charm. It's about like, do the girls like you? It's a lot going on for Tank. You know what I mean? And like, even though if Haney beats him, he's still not a typical star. You know, he's not a typical star. So I would think he would have to collect championships to be a bigger star. Just
But
him
here's what
being,
people
huh? Say it again.
here's what people aren't realizing. Do y'all understand that talking about championships and Tank Davis hasn't been undisputed? He hasn't even been unified. Tank Davis has never held more than one belt. When you talk about
And
the four major belts, and he's a bigger star than all of these guys. So
mm-hmm.
what people aren't realizing, y'all not putting two and two together. The casual fan, not only do they not know about all of these championships and the history of these championships, but they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But KJ,
Yeah,
if 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 you don't want to say it, you don't have to. You're 25.
yeah.
Okay, because I'm old, bro. So I got to see Tyson growing up. I'll be 35 in July.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. Like I got to grow. I was born in '89. So that's what I mean. I got to grow up all through the '90s, and I watched Tyson versus Roddick, and I even saw Douglas get knocked out live when I was years old. You know, so
Right.
that's what I mean. Like I've been watching boxing my entire life, and you know, I mean, I've seen some of the greatest fights growing up. Even Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield in '92, which I still think is probably alongside Tyson Fury versus Wilder is one of the best clashes of all time in heavyweight,
Right.
for real. But and that's another person who didn't who didn't become a star. You know, was Riddick. I mean, Riddick Bowe kind of did, but he should have blew up into the star that he did, especially after beating Holyfield. See, he beat him twice, and he didn't become a star. So, and Holyfield was a celebrity when he beat him. So you see what I mean? Like, Devin, yeah, you're right. Devin Haney has to knock
Yeah,
Ryan
yeah,
out.
but boxing was different back then. Like people was tuned in back then. That's why I was more
But
than
that
one
proves
star.
that proves that point even more. If people were tuned in and these guys still couldn't become a bigger star than Mike, people are tuned out right now. They watching football and basketball. So
Yeah,
you
but
really, really,
Mike
really
was
have to
different.
stand out right now.
Mike was like the first dude get 20 and 40 million for a fight. So it's kind of like that was different. It's never gonna be another Mike Tyson. Like not that big.
I mean, Floyd was bigger than Mike though.
Not love though.
I mean,
Like
was Mike loved? Do you know what they were saying about Mike in the media? Do you know how they were painting him to be
no, I'm
crazy?
talking about at the beginning. Like, you know what I mean? They start hating him. They start hating him when he fought Holyfield. When he first came home, they wasn't hating him. They start hating him because you know Holyfield was like a holy roller.
Listen, man, you got to go back and do your research on Mike Tyson's career. Mike Tyson, the public tried to paint that man as a monster for years, not before the Holyfield. The only reason that they
I'm
accept
saying,
him
of
now is
course,
because
because look,
Mike Tyson is a broken individual, so they like him
Mhm.
now. He's no longer a threat. He's no longer makes them jealous looking at him. But listen, Tank Davis is a bigger star than Devin Haney. He has something, charisma factor that Devin is missing. I don't know what it is. Some stuff you can't see. Some stuff is spiritual. Also, Tank Davis is knocking people the fuck out. So, like I said earlier, and Wickedy said he agreed with me. If Haney really want to be a national superstar, don't try to play it safe. Hey, yo, Arnold, I don't know what you got
Yeah.
time in the background,
Hello?
but you gotta mute your mic,
Yeah.
man.
Can
You
you hear
got
me?
something time in the background. But if Haney
Yeah,
really want
got
to be
it.
a superstar, he
Hello?
got to knock Ryan the fuck out.
Hey,
I'm talking about knock him out. Don't play it
The,
safe.
the reason people
Don't
like
do
Mike
lottery.
Tyson in the
Knock him
prime,
out. Huh?
the reason people like Mike Tyson in his prime was because of his ability to land combinations. He had an offense of a middleweight. Yeah, that's why he was so hot. I mean, y'all guys talking about, y'all 30, y'all 25, y'all never really saw him. I'm 45 years old. I saw him. He had combinations. He fought like a middleweight. That's why people like that. That's why people like, they used to like the Mexican style fighters like Chavez.
Arnold,
It
I'm
was all
25,
about
and I think that
combinations.
people love Mike Tyson because of his offensive style.
Yes, sir.
You don't need to be 100 years old to understand why people
But
love
what, but,
Tyson, bro.
what, but what you're trying to say is like that's why Tank is a bigger star because he does have knockout power and he throws combinations. That's why people. That's why people in the early '90s loved so many Mexican fighters because they had that style of,
Right.
of of a strapping style. That's why a lot of people hate Mayweather because he's a boxer. He doesn't fight that style. So he's probably one of the greatest record wise, but nobody gives him any credit because his style is boring. And that's why
Well,
Tank.
Floyd,
And I
most
agree
of
with you
Floyd's
that Tank is a
most
bigger
of
star.
Floyd's career, he fought an exciting style. So I got to cut you off. Most of Floyd's career that people didn't watch when he wasn't a star in his 20s, he fought a
Yes,
very exciting
was.
style.
Facts.
But
Before he started
Facts. It
having
was
hand
just his
trouble.
hands. He had
Yes,
to
his
switch his
hands.
style up for his
Yes,
hands.
sir.
Go look at
When he
Corrales
started
versus
breaking his
Mayweather.
hands, when he started having issues with his hands, he changed his style, which was smart of him. It prolonged his career. I'm not saying
I
anything
got a
bad about
question
him.
for
I'm
you.
just saying that's why.
I got a
Yes, sir.
now. When people say exciting, right? Exciting. Do you believe that that's a term around that's centered around interest?
Say that again.
Do you believe the term exciting is based on interest? Meaning, if you are exciting, that means that a lot of people are interested in you.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, because there's a lot of good technical boxers that people don't like, but
Okay,
people
now
that,
hold up.
that are
One more
technical
question.
and have
Okay, do
ability
you,
to throw hands, people tend to watch their fights more.
I
They're
got one
they're
more
they're
question,
harder
man.
they're higher selling.
I got one more question. So
Yes,
if exciting is based on how much interest you have, and Floyd Mayweather was the highest selling pay-per-view fighter of all time, then do you think that people thought that Floyd was exciting? Do you think that maybe
but
they're just being a little bit
there, there, there,
hypocrites?
there, there's a trick in the numbers because Tyson never fought a bigger star than he was, and he had big numbers. Mayweather has big numbers because he fought the big stars. He fought De La Hoya. He fought Pacquiao. He fought
Mayweather.
Canelo. That's why he has these big numbers. Let's not get it
Okay,
twisted.
so
When
Arnold,
he fought
I have
Pacquiao,
another
it wasn't
question.
because of Mayweather.
I
Pacquiao
have
has a
another
whole
question,
country
man.
behind him.
I got another question. So you're telling me that Floyd Mayweather broke all those records because he fought all of these different stars. But every time you mention the fight, you mention Floyd's name. Canelo hasn't been on the top 10 pay-per-view list since he fought De La Hoya. Neither has Pacquiao. Neither has
Sir,
Cotto. The only
he
constant,
must
the
not
only
remember.
constant is Floyd
You remember,
Mayweather.
must not remember
So hold up,
Trinidad
let me finish my
and
point.
De La Hoya.
So what you missing is this. I don't get how y'all don't understand this. Y'all say Floyd fought the stars. Floyd was the star.
He
That's
was,
why his
yes, he
name
was a star.
pops up
I
over and
I agree
over
with
and
you.
over and over.
No, I'm agreeing with you. He is a star. I'm saying his numbers were bumped up because he fought other stars. Don't get it twisted. He fights stars that are as big as him, or maybe a little bigger at the time. So the numbers combined are going to be huge.
It takes
Because
two to tango. I agree. Like Tank and Ryan.
but remember, Mike Tyson really never fought a bigger star till he was washed up, and he fought Lennox and Holyfield. But at the time when he was pulling those numbers, he was basically pulling those numbers by himself because there
That's a
was
great
really
point.
no other heavyweight.
Because none of them heavyweights was a star that Mike Tyson was. So you know
Correct,
what? You
correct.
made one hell of a point. In fact, I believe that Mike Tyson, yo Arnold, when you're not talking, mute your mic. 'Cause you got something happening in the background. But
I'm sorry. Let me move to another location. That's my ringtone. Let me.
okay, are you good? But listen, when you look at the other people on the pay-per-view list, it's Ali and Frazier. You know what I mean? It's Floyd and another superstar, like you said. But Mike Tyson, he really didn't have a guy that was a true superstar,
You're
and he was
correct.
making those pay-per-view numbers. So
You're
that's one
correct.
hell of a point that you made. I got to give it to you.
Yes, sir. You're correct on that. Tyson really never fought a star that was as big as him or close, not even close to him. So he's got these blowed up numbers because he did fight,
But you
and
got to give
it's a
Mayweather his credit
generational
though,
thing.
because he fought those people that he fought. They was real champions and Hall of Famers.
Yes,
So
yes, they were,
it's,
and
it's a two-edged sword. Like, yeah, his numbers are
the,
puffed up because he was fighting other stars, but those stars that was tough competition. Mayweather's resume is two times, three times. I'm not gonna say three times, but two times harder than Tyson's resume. Tyson fought a lot of tomato cans, a few good fighters, and a few great. Floyd fought pretty much a little bit of tomato cans, good
We'll
fighters,
say
and then he
three
fought very
times.
great fighters until he retired.
I would
But
say 4 times. Floyd's beat more champions than any
We'll
other
say
boxer in
three
history.
times.
yeah, but he also fought. He
Tyson
also
never.
timed his
Tyson like
fights.
when
He
he
either
was
fought
supposed
fighters
to
that were
win, he never won.
before their prime or past their prime. Why didn't he ever fight Pacquiao when he was in his prime 3, 4 years earlier?
drug testing, drug testing.
Look at Sugar Ray Leonard. He, he fought Hagler. He fought Hearns. He fought Duran in their prime.
Great winner.
Mayweather fought
Made
people
for a fight.
either past their prime or before their prime.
Brett
That's
Leonard made
another thing.
Hagler
I
wait
hate to
years
say it,
to
but it's
fight
the
him.
truth.
You hear me? He made
Yes,
Hagler
sir.
wait years to fight him. Number one. Number two, those dudes wasn't on nothing. Manny Pacquiao didn't want to take a drug test. That's why Floyd didn't fight him. If Manny Pacquiao would have took the same drug test he took when he got desperate and needed the money, if he would have took that when they were in their 20s, Pacquiao probably would have got stopped because Floyd wasn't having the hand problems. Pacquiao is a man that runs into shots. Floyd is one of the greatest counters we've ever seen. The reason Pacquiao got knocked out cold by Marquez is because he ran into a shot. Pacquiao is prone to do that. His style
Um,
hasn't really
but
changed. He
what was
evolved
Pacquiao's
and
age
got a
at the
little bit
time?
better with his style, but he's a wild fighter through and through.
I
A super athletic fighter, but a wild fighter. Floyd would have picked him apart, but Floyd wasn't going to fight a man that was
But
he believed was on steroids.
But
I
you
don't.
got to remember, he fought fighters that could knock people out. I mean, he fought Barrera, he fought Morales, he fought De La Hoya. These guys were putting people to sleep in
Right?
their
They were doing
primes.
it going forward. Floyd is a counterpuncher. You understand?
Yes,
That's
sir.
why
Also,
Pacquiao got knocked out from Marquez, not because Marquez is, and it says no, Marquez was on the juice. Yeah, but Pacquiao was on the juice, so it was juice versus juice. But anyway, Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez because Pacquiao was lunging, and Marquez stepped back and caught him with a shot, caught him with an overhand. So it's called counter punching. Is like is worse than someone coming forward because of the physics. You're falling
Yes,
into the punch. It's like a car.
you're correct. I see where you're coming from.
I never
Like I said,
understood.
it's no takeaway from Mayweather. But like I said, as far as Tyson's the only guy that I've ever seen to bring the huge numbers that he brought with no one to
Pretty much
tackle with,
by
like you
himself.
said, basically a tomato can.
I never
And
liked
Yeah,
how people.
that's one hell of a statement. You said that, and that was one hell of a statement that you made. I never even looked at it like that.
I never liked when people would say that this fighter didn't fight these guys all in their prime because you have a couple years of your own prime. So if you're fighting all these fighters while they're in their prime, odds are you're going to be fighting a good amount of them while you're outside of your own prime. So it's like you only have a small, like maybe 4 to
Window.
5
And
year
what are the
window to
chances
fight
that those
certain
other
fighters.
fighters are going to be at your level and all y'all in your prime? That's
Yeah,
why
it's just
Sugar
not
Ray Leonard
possible.
versus Tommy Hearns is one of the greatest fights to this day because they both happen to be at a high skill level while they were both in their prime. Right now, Tank Davis could fight Devin Haney tomorrow, and that will be another prime for prime fight. But for whatever reason, that fight hasn't happened yet.
We
He could
need
fight
to.
Shakur Stevenson tomorrow. That would be a prime for prime fight. But for that reason, these fights aren't happening. But you're right, man. It's hard for guys to fight in the prime.
Why isn't Tank fighting Pitbull, the one that gave him his best competition so far? And it was an exciting fight, and then people saw Tank losing that fight. And people don't want to risk their records anymore. They all want to do the
No,
Mayweather
Tank is
road.
gonna fight. He's gonna rematch Pitbull at 140. If Pitbull beats Rolly, believe me, Tank will rematch him at 140 for the belt, and Tank will beat him.
But as close as it was, I think it should have been an immediate rematch. Why are we
Yeah,
waiting?
but that's the difference between Floyd and Floyd used to get the fans immediate rematches. Tank isn't really into that, but he's going to rematch Pitbull at 140, and he's gonna
Yeah.
get a title off of Pitbull. He's gonna beat him. I promise you that.
We really need to get.
I think it'll be a closer fight than people think.
It's gonna be worse. If Tank don't hurt his hand, it's gonna be worse.
We
Tank gonna knock him out. Tank gonna knock him out for sure.
I think we need to start advocating for getting rid of that stigma around Floyd fighting people out of their prime or before it and stuff. We need to get rid of it. It doesn't make any sense. People say that Canelo was too young for Floyd, but he wasn't too young for Cotto. Like, how can you make that argument?
But Cotto is
people
not
just
an
move the
elite,
goalposts.
not of the elite of the elite. You know,
Yes, he is.
we're not talking about
Shit,
good
you
fighters.
Cotto
shit
was
me.
a monster, bro.
He was a good fighter, a great fighter. But is he a GOAT? When
Cotto
He's a
it's
Hall
all
of
said and
Famer.
done, Pacquiao is considered a GOAT. De La Hoya
Cotto's a
is
Hall of
considered a GOAT.
Famer.
Yeah, Cotto's definitely a Hall of Famer. I study his style still
And
to this
Cotto
day.
didn't cheat. Pacquiao cheated.
Is
Cotto didn't
is
cheat.
he? I mean, we can't prove has he been tested. Has he been popped with anything? We know that he is, but can we prove it?
Can
My
we
thing
go
is,
back?
what
Man,
is
shit.
Cotto
I don't know
is
what
your
take a
Mount
drug test,
Rushmore of
$1 million drug
boxers.
test.
When you talk about Mount Rushmore of boxers, the greatest of all time, can you really put Cotto's name up there?
But
Yeah,
didn't
he's
Cotto
not
also
gonna
lose
be
to someone who
elite.
had
He's
like
not gonna
plaster in
be
their gloves
the
or something
super
at
elite, but
like
he's gonna
Yeah,
be
He lost
Margarito.
to Margarito. Margarito was the one that had plaster in his
Yeah,
gloves
that
and
basically threw
busted
off
his
his
face up.
entire career.
Yeah, that slowed Cotto's career down a lot, and he was able to come back and overcome that. But that's what I'm saying
Arnold.
about these cheaters, man. Pacquiao, how far does Pacquiao get without the juice? Allegedly, how far does he get? Does he climb up those weight classes without the juice?
That's
Arnold, can we go back? Can we go
Absolutely
back to you
not.
talking about Pacquiao's age against Floyd when Pacquiao's younger than Floyd?
Yeah, Pacquiao's
How can we
younger.
bring up that when
You
he's
know how they
younger?
beat Floyd, man.
I don't know why, bro, but people pretend like Floyd was in a time machine. The man was like 21 his whole career.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't,
crazy, bro.
yeah,
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
you can't get mad at someone for managing the longevity of their career. Like, you can't get mad at that. Like, people are getting upset that Floyd managed his career, like his health in his career, better than anyone else.
exactly.
He could have kept fighting the way he was when he was Pretty Boy with the injured hands, but then his career wouldn't have lasted as long, and he would have
Yeah,
been
and he
out.
probably would have took a loss. So what did he do? He adapted, like how a
Yeah,
great coach adapts in the middle of a Super Bowl. He adapted all the time. The reason they hate
and
Floyd
what?
is because they don't relate to Floyd. Most people they don't have that type of discipline. They don't do what they need to do.
I agree. Like I said,
Another thing I don't.
it's just the way that people see his style that they don't like it, and it's not accepted. Like I said, and it's all his style. That's why people don't like him because
As
he's
long
not a
as
move
How?
forward fighter. He's a
like
counter
Floyd
fighter.
Mayweather, he will be praised all day long. He will be
Another thing.
people will call him the greatest thing since sliced bread. They will act like his
Another.
shit don't stink.
Another thing I find weird too is people say that De La Hoya was a cherry pick at 34, and Cotto was a great at 34, but Floyd wasn't washed at 38. It's just crazy. People just move the goalpost when it comes to Floyd. It's so weird. Why can't people just accept that he was that good? It
Yeah.
just blows my mind. It's crazy. Like, as I've said in your stream before, he cleared out the pound for pound list. Like, when they were ranked, that he fought the number 2, number 3, number 5, number 8, number 9, and number 10 when they were ranked on the pound for pound list, beat them all, and he still didn't get credit for that. Who
You
else
know
is
what?
cleared
You know
out
what
of
he
no
got
count?
credited, Nick?
Can we just? But everybody forgets De La Hoya beat Mayweather.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
because he
No
took
way.
De La Hoya was the first one that wanted shares for HBO from HBO, kicking out the promoters and becoming his own promoter. And so boxing had something against him. Look it up. I mean, the
Floyd,
facts are there. When he was fighting for shares from HBO, saying that he wanted royalties and all this, they pencil whipped him. De La Hoya
Arnold,
beat Mayweather. Whether
De La
people
Hoya
don't
did
want
Arnold,
not beat
Floyd,
Mayweather. De La
he
Hoya
did.
beat
in
up
the
on
Even
Mayweather's arms.
when the fight was over, even George Foreman said, I mean, this dude's been watching. He's a commentator. He's a boxer. The dude himself said it. It was the like I said,
George
Bob
Foreman.
Arum and
I'm
Don
gonna be honest
King.
with you. I watched these fights that George Foreman commentates. He's one of the most go back and forth, slowest commentators I ever seen for someone that. But you know why? It's because George Foreman wasn't a super technical boxer. He was a power puncher who worked on his skills. So guess what? Believe it or not, he's not somebody that truly understands the shit in and out. Go watch George Foreman commentate on Floyd's fights. He says dumb shit. He
and then
commentated on the Castillo fight. First he said, "Oh man, look at the way Floyd works his right hand." He said this in the second and the third round. Then late in the 11th and the 12th round, he says, "Man, Floyd is just now starting to throw his right hands. He should have done that earlier."
can
I'm
we
not making
also
this up. I broke down the fight. That man is one of the biggest hypocrites you can listen to on the announcement team. I
can
think
we
he just goes off of what he feels.
can we also bring up that people like this is another example of moving goalposts. People say that Floyd rigged fights and whatnot. In the De La Hoya fight, he was the B side. He agreed to every single term that De La Hoya is as well, and he still won on the scorecards. How can
Did he
you
really?
say like
That's my point, though. Did he really win on the scorecards?
he
Now,
definitely did?
I
The
mean,
four scoring criteria
so
of boxing,
So
Mayweather would have
we're
won.
gonna just not take to account that De La Hoya was the one pushing against the whole system, against Bob Arum, against Don King, all these guys that were basically running the boxing organization, and he gave ways to people like Mayweather, who now owns the money team and all this. Boxers were doing this, just
Do you
like Mike
know?
Tyson. He was so many, what was it, hundred millions of dollars that Tyson lost to Don King and all these corrupt promoters. De La Hoya changed a lot of that. So of course they came after him towards the end of his career and basically phased him out of boxing. Dude, he beat Mayweather. What happened
Arnold,
when
can
he
you?
Do you
fought?
know that
What happened when he fought
When Floyd fought De La Hoya?
Sugar Shane
When Floyd
Mosley
fought De La Hoya,
and
he was on
Mosley
his
got
own as well.
popped?
So that makes no sense.
What
Floyd
happened
was
when
on his own as well. He wasn't under Bob Arum anymore when he fought De La Hoya. So why would they try to rob De La Hoya and not try to rob Floyd?
Because
Exactly.
Floyd was going with the game at the time. He was still somebody that can be managed. The lawyer was trying to manage
No,
himself. He
Floyd took control of his own career before he
well,
got the De La Hoya
Floyd
fight.
was when
He left
when they
Bob
were
Arum.
fighting. He was fighting under Golden Boy product. He was under Golden Boy management. People want to pretend that he ran money team was always existed. Look it up, dude. He was getting paid by Golden Productions. That he was under contract with them.
Two entities working together is one thing. Floyd Mayweather was never signed under no damn Oscar De La Hoya. When he
Yes, he
left,
was. He was under Golden Boy Productions. Yes,
when
he
he
was.
left, like I said, two entities making money together is a different thing. He was
Yeah,
never
he was
signed
never.
working for
They
no
just
damn
worked
Oscar
with
De
each
La
other.
Hoya. That's like if Javante Tank Davis Promotions they do a promotion with Devin Haney Promotions. I'm not gonna say Tank was under Devin. No, they did a business deal together. Floyd left Bob Arum and took control of his own career. The same thing Oscar De La Hoya did. So if they were gonna rob Oscar De La Hoya, they would have robbed Floyd. They would have had beef with both of them. So what you're saying doesn't make sense. They both were independent. So if they're both independent, then the boxing powers that be, they don't give a damn. If anything, they would have wanted De La Hoya to beat Floyd because they were mad that Floyd left HBO.
Arnold, I have a question. I'm going to assume you do, but do you know the 4 scoring criteria in professional boxing, like what the judges score?
What is it?
No, I'm asking if you
Is
know.
it
That's all.
yes?
Most
Is it a
most fans
control of the
most fans
ring?
don't care about the criteria. They
Yeah, they
just want to
don't.
see people get
What
punched
is
in
it?
the head.
What is it? Control of striking, control of the ring.
No, this is not
The-
MMA, buddy.
Nah,
no, I'm talking about. Isn't it where you're coming
It's
forward?
defense.
You're being the
Defense.
aggressor, isn't
It's
it?
effective aggression.
yeah,
It's
effective
clean
Correct.
punching
aggression,
and it's ring
clean punching,
generalship.
defense, and ring generalship. They're the 4. If you watch the De La Hoya fight, you cannot say that he won going off that criteria. It was a great fight for sure. Like 100%, it was a great
When was
fight.
the last time you watched the fight?
Me or Arnold?
No, you.
He said, "No, you."
When did I watch it? Maybe. No,
Exactly, because if you go back and watch
4 or
that
5 months
fight,
ago.
but listen, if you go back and watch that fight, all that aggression he was doing De La Hoya, he was missing. He was just aggressive, but he was rolling with those punches and dipping them. I was thinking the same thing back then. Like, yo, he lost, but he didn't. Like, you
Yeah,
got.
I watched that
lost,
fight
or are you
enough
saying
times to
that
know
De La
he got
Hoya
his
lost?
ass whipped, bro.
I can't hear you.
Are you saying that De La Hoya lost or Floyd lost?
No, De La Hoya lost.
Yeah,
Like
no, I
all
agree.
that aggression De La Hoya had, Mayweather was dipping, sliding, moving. He wasn't with none of those punches. He was just aggressive.
You don't win
But
a
he was
fight by
dipping all
punching
of that.
someone's guard. It's not how you win a fight. Like, people just think because Oscar was throwing like 8 punch combos at Floyd's guard that he was going to win the fight. When he was getting hit with clean counter punches, Floyd controlled the ring for the majority of the fight. Not saying he controlled it for all of the fight, because Oscar did.
And I heard that Floyd had to wear 10-ounce heavyweight gloves, and Oscar had to wear like 7-ounce Boxeo Reyes gloves.
No,
No,
I believe
the gloves have to match. They both have to agree to what they call the boxer's glove, which is the thumb is holding to the rest of the fingers, or you can make a whole fist. They both gotta agree on the same weight gloves and the same glove. It's two different gloves. There's a glove that you can make a full fist, and there's a glove that the thumb is holding to the rest of the fingers. They call it a boxer's glove. So that is a myth. I don't know where you heard that from.
I could
But
be wrong.
De La
but
Hoya
that's
is
the
De
way
La
to
Hoya
say
is
it.
in
the
a
only thing
uniform.
that the only thing is De La Hoya chose the gloves that Floyd was fighting in, but they were still the same size gloves.
correct.
Yeah.
Like I said,
See,
they have to agree on the weight, and they have to agree on the style of glove. There's two different styles of gloves. There's a glove that the thumb is sold on to the rest of the fingers, where you can't make a full fist, and there's a glove where the thumb is it's free. You can make a full fist. That's a puncher's glove. That's gloves that a lot of boxers that don't have power don't agree to those gloves, because you easily get knocked out with those. So there's two solid gloves, and then yes, the weights, they're also different weights, but they have to match. You can't have one boxer fighting in one style and the other one fighting in a different style.
Right, a different weight. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Correct.
I don't mean to change subject, but KJ, to answer the question of like the actual stream, I think that Haney has the potential to be a bigger star, but he needs knockouts. He can't keep just winning decisions. It's not going to be Mayweather
He
repeated.
gotta knock Ryan out. That's all I know.
Yeah.
If he knock Ryan out, that's gonna get him some buzz, bro.
Yeah, he has to.
So,
Like,
He'll
if
be
he-
a star.
If he gets a decision, it's no good. It's not going to do him any good if he gets a decision.
And I think Ryan Garcia might win a decision anyways, because he's a bigger star. The judges will probably do something
oh
crazy.
no, I don't think so, man. Ryan,
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I see what you going. I see where you're going though, but I don't think Ryan got enough, like skill wise, to win a decision on Haney.
From what I saw against Regis, Haney has some like snap in his punches now, so maybe he could get a stoppage. You never know. I just think that he needs to start getting stoppages instead of like cruising to decisions. He needs to take more risk. If he does, then he
You
has.
should have did that against Regis. Like, listen, if you want to be a star, you got to take risks, man. Floyd bled to be that star. You go watch Floyd as Pretty Boy, bruh. That man would get bloody noses. That man would get rocked. He would get stunned because he was trying to be offensive and trying to stop guys. Literally, the only thing that stopped him in his tracks was when he was breaking his hands.
Yeah.
If you're not having hand problems, go out there and get some stoppages, man. Devin Haney's bigger than most of the guys he fights. He's in great shape.
But then as well,
You know what I mean?
Well, Rolly said he's got bad genetics, and that.
Nah, Haney got
Haney's
great
got good
genetics.
genetics.
It's a mental thing, I think. It's mental. He has a genetics. I think it's a mental thing.
Is that just Rolly?
Well, it's also Bill. His dad will tell him like, "Chill out, don't go for the
Yeah, his
knockout."
dad does tell him that, and I don't understand it. It's like, bro, do y'all want to just be winners or do y'all want to be pay-per-view stars? They confusing me. Because Haney said he's the face of boxing. You the face of boxing.
lot of things-
You got to wow the crowd, man. This is entertainment. What's up, Don Judy?
Yeah, what's up, man? A lot of people don't understand why Floyd changed his style too is not only his brittle hands. When he was younger, his father was locked up. So Roger was training him. Roger is offense.
Yep.
When his father came home, his father took over, and his father is more defense. So that's
Exactly.
also why he changed, not only his brittle hands. And his father spoke about that. He said, my brother loves offense. I don't want my son getting hit all the time. So I taught my son to fight defensive. He said,
Right.
not only his brittle hands, and it's also because he moved up in weight. So when you move up in weight, you can't fight fighters. Most of the time, you can't fight fighters the same way that you fought them in your original weight class.
Well, I gotta disagree with the last part because, believe it or not, when Floyd moved up at the end of his career and he's fighting Shane Mosley and Cotto and a lot of those guys, he actually was walking those guys down. Like Floyd was walking Shane Mosley down, walking
You said that,
Cotto down,
but
even Canelo. He's walking those guys down. A lot of times mid-fight, his hands would start to hurt and he would have to pull back. But I agree with you. And when you go up in weight, you're supposed to be more defensive. But Floyd was so great until his hands would start hurting in the fight. He would be walking down men who outweigh him by 15 to 20 pounds. Like that shit is something that you rarely see.
he wasn't releasing those combinations like he was at 130 and 135, though.
Now that's facts. I think that's partially age as well. But also that when you're trying to be defensive, you're not gonna be throwing 5, 6, 7 combinations because that leaves you in exchange range.
No. And that thing about De La Hoya winning that fight, De La Hoya didn't win that fight, and he wasn't cheated.
Yeah.
They was fighting under Golden Boy's promotion. So
Let him know, man. Let him know.
it was his promotion. How would he cheat himself? That makes no
Let
sense.
him know, man.
If you look at the fight, the ring said Golden Boy's promotion. So what are you talking about, man? I watched that fight about 3 times because I heard this so many times. I said, what did they say? What did they see? And I don't see him winning, throwing punches at Floyd's shoulders and
You know
arms.
what it is, though, Don Judah?
No connections.
You got to remember, they gave this man a win over Pernell Whitaker that he shouldn't have got.
Yeah,
Pernell
he
had
shouldn't
that
have
man
done that.
punch in the air. Motherfuckers was cheering, talking about, I think he stole that round. I think Oscar was able to steal that round. And I'm watching, I'm like, Oscar just missed 8 punches. What did he steal?
Pernell said it. He said after he fought Trinidad, and he said, this is the only fight I ever lost was against Felix Trinidad.
And
Pernell said that.
So that was, I don't like that fight, but it is what it
He
is.
still didn't knock out Pernell. He beat him,
Right.
but he didn't knock him out.
Right.
Yeah.
As I said before, I think Floyd won't get his flowers till he can't smell them. He'll be dead before he gets any credit, which
Yeah,
sucks.
and
'cause
then
he-
they always talk about he fought older fighters, but why nobody couldn't beat him when he was old?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like he a vampire and shit. He don't age.
Another-
They hate to give greatness credit. I mean, it is what it is, man. He was a great fighter.
Another thing that people don't realize too is people will say, "Oh, Floyd's arrogant. He's a bad person." Blah blah blah. He paid for Arturo Gatti, Gennaro Hernandez, and Diego Corrales' funerals. Oh, and Joe Frazier's funeral as well. Paid for
Hey,
all the
Don
funerals.
Judah, man, I got a question to ask you, man.
Yeah.
So do you think Devin Haney could potentially be a bigger star than Tank? Is there is something that he could do to do that?
It's nothing he could do. Only Tank could get knocked out and become the biggest star to Tank. But he don't have the power. He don't have that in him to go in there and look for a knockout like Tank. He's never going to be a bigger star than Tank until Tank go out there and get knocked out himself and beat up. And
But even then, your boy Tyson could get knocked out any day.
Yeah, but
and
you
people still would go and buy the fight. So I don't even think that would
But-
be
but
enough.
you
I
know,
think
heavyweights
it's
are
something with
different.
charisma and something with power, like you said.
heavyweights are different than these little guys. We always treated heavyweights different from lightweights and shit like that.
I feel you on that, but I'm saying I think if Tank were to get stopped or knocked out, people would still go and watch Tank's fights just for the
might.
thought that damn he could probably come back and knock the guy back out.
Right.
Like Tank he brings so much action to the fight that they're gonna follow him, win, lose, or draw is what I'm saying. I think he can bounce
Devin
back from
Haney
a
was
loss.
too boring. He had a full boring career. Now people might say Floyd was boring, but not his first. His early career wasn't boring.
Yeah, Pretty Boy was out there going. He was out for blood.
They've been boring his whole career. So it's like a star. He gonna make his money. But I don't see him being a star. I don't even think he could be a bigger star than damn Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
Garcia gets knockouts.
I think that's what I was saying. I said the only way for him to really become a national star, he gotta knock Ryan out, man. Like he gotta knock him the fuck out, like Friday style. You
But
know what I mean? Debo.
I gotta get at you about something that we talked about a
Okay.
while ago. Now we're talking about Ali, that nobody beat Ali in his prime, but Frazier. And you said, oh, he wasn't in his prime when he fought
No,
Frazier.
Ali wasn't
Let me
because
finish.
of that little
He
leg.
was in his prime. He was just rusty. He was 29 years old when he fought Frazier first fight. He was rusty because he only
He was
fought.
31.
He was 29,
No,
bro. He was
no, no. I mean, no.
29 years
He
old.
was 29
He
because
was
he wasn't.
29.
He's
I
right. He
know this,
wasn't
bro.
30 yet.
I'm 55 years old.
The
I'm
reason
not
I say
30.
Ali wasn't
I'm
in his
not
prime.
20. I'm 55 years old. So I know how old he is.
Right.
And I saw what it was, he came back after 3-year layoff. Now he was
Right.
doing sparring sessions, that don't count. He fought what's his name? I forgot the white guy name. He fought him before Frazier as a warm-up, and that wasn't enough.
His
He
name start with
underrated.
a
I can't
with a
think of his
B.
name. I can't think of
Not Jerry Quarry, was it?
Curry.
No, not Corey. It was
Cooney or
been
Curry. It was
some. His
Cooney or
name start
Curry.
with a B, I think.
He fought him, and he thought he was ready for Frazier.
Oscar
That wasn't enough.
Bonavina. Oscar Bonavina.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. He needed
Oscar
more.
Bonavina.
He was always a better fighter than Frazier.
He was
But
more.
you know,
He was more naturally talented. I agree. But the
and
only
then
thing, the reason why I say Ali wasn't in his prime is the same reason why people might say Mike wasn't in his prime after going to
no,
jail and all of that. Even though he was still
no,
in his
Mike
20s.
was older. Mike was older, and then being 3 years and being free is different from 3 years and being in prison. That's two different things. Ali was
Facts.
still sparring. He was still doing
Hold up.
expeditions.
You know, Mike said that they allow him to do full training. He just didn't want. Mike said that he would rather philander with women than train. He said they gave him full access to train.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been the same because you're not gonna get that good training that you would if you was free, unless
That's
they
facts.
allow
That's
unless they
facts.
allow real champs, real professional fighters to come to the gym and spar with them. And
The only thing about the Ali thing, man, is that when Ali was in them damn 60s, we have never seen a heavyweight that fast. When
never.
they stopped that man from boxing, he never regained that electricity and that speed. So everybody missed out.
Yeah, it would be impossible to do that again. And another thing I got to say, when people talk about age, it's not only that some people could read up. My thing with if you wasn't there is when I say that, I don't mean you can't learn stuff. What I'm saying is if you wasn't like in the gyms and you wasn't in the street when these things was actually happening, talk and hear about what was going on, you wouldn't know that by reading it. So you'll think, just like people always say Mike fought all bums. Mike fought fighters who would have been good if he wasn't there. Like the Roy Jones said, oh, I'm fighting people that, I'm making them
Make
be
him look
nobody.
like nobody. Make him look like
know,
nobody.
He fought people who was in the Olympics. Terrell Biggs was in the Olympics. He was a good fighter. Everybody ran into Mike Tyson. So that destroyed their
When you watch the Tony Tucker fight, Tony Tucker could have been a champion. And
Tony Tucker was a
that was
champion.
no easy fucking fight.
Tony Tucker was a champ. He took the belt from Tucker. He was a champ. Tucker actually knocked out what's the name that beat Mike Tyson? It was Douglas. Tucker stopped Douglas before Mike even lost to him. Tucker was a good fighter.
I don't think Mike fought all bums. I think
he didn't.
Early on they handled his career real nice so he could get them knockouts. Kind of like what they did with Tank.
Yeah.
But Mike Tyson, he did fight good competition. You brought up Leon Spinks last Tucker fight. That's one hell of a fight. And really, Mike is supposed to beat Buster Douglas, but Buster Douglas isn't no run-of-the-mill fighter. That's a motherfucker that can really fight if he's in shape.
Exactly. Tony Tubbs was a good fighter.
Exactly.
People don't know that. These fighters were good fighters, but they ran into Mike Tyson. It is what it is. If Mike Tyson never exists, we'll be talking about one of those other fighters.
Razor Ruddock was
and
dangerous
then
as fuck.
you talk about Larry Holmes. Yeah, Larry Holmes went on to beat a dude that was in the army with me. Damn, Ray Mercer was in '88. Ray Mercer won the gold medal. We never thought he would have won the gold medal. I wasn't in the army with him. I was in Fort Hood with we had Kennedy McKinney who was on my team. He won the gold medal too. But Ray Mercer was a beast, and Larry Holmes outboxed him like he was an amateur after Mike Tyson. So people could say whatever they want. Larry Holmes was still he would have beat anybody else other than Mike. Yeah. He would have beat anybody else other than Mike.
But Mike was young and Mike was on point.
Mike was a killer when he was young. That's why I say he fought at a young age. He was a child. He was 18, 19. That's
Yeah.
most people still asking their mother and father for $20 at 18 and 19.
Right.
His prime ended earlier because he started earlier. Him and Lennox Lewis used to spar together.
And even just the start, it's just how things played out. If he had better protection around him, his prime would have ended later.
And then not only that, Lennox Lewis is 1 year older than Mike Tyson.
Yep.
But Mike Tyson was wearing 3 belts before Lennox Lewis even won the gold medal.
Facts.
Come on. People don't look at that. Oh, yeah, Lennox Lewis knocked out. Oh, yeah, he did. But Mike Tyson was fighting pro 5 years before him. The wear and tear is, people don't know that age is not the only thing that brings you out of your prime.
Hey, you know what? Remember Floyd said this. Floyd said by the time he came back and did the second stretch of his career, he said he was done. Because he had turned pro at like 19 or something.
Exactly.
And then he had been fighting for all those world titles back to back. And he said by the time he came back for the second stretch of his career, he was done. That's another reason why he had to fight a defensive style.
Yeah.
So you're right, man. Mike Tyson, his prime started early and ended early for a different amount of reasons. He was not his prime.
Then he relied on speed.
Or a Holyfield.
Not only that, he relied on speed for his talent was speed and power. Speed is the first thing to go. So when you're like 30, 31 years old, you don't have the same speed as when you was 20, 21, 22. So Mike's prime was going to end earlier regardless. Because he relied.
I gotta give this to Mike too, man. At the end of the day, like I get on Mike. Only thing I get on Mike because I work hard. So I be like, yo, Mike could have worked harder, but it is what it is. Shit happens, life happens. But Mike was smaller than all of these men. He was an undersized heavyweight.
See, I'm from New York, so I know what Mike went through. Mike was teased. Mike was semi-bullied. He never had girls. Then he got locked up in Customado House to be a boxer. So when he got free and he seen women, whoo, it was like F boxer. I need this woman. And people don't understand that. Like they think he was this kid that grew up being with girls because, I'm a boxer. He probably didn't have sex until he became a pro.
Yeah.
Real talk. No, I'm sorry. He did. He did because he was messing with what's Atlas niece. Atlas pulled the gun out on him and all that. Told him to leave his niece alone. Yeah, so he did, but he really didn't have any relationships with women. That's why he went crazy over Robin Givens. He was just when he found out about women, he changed. Yeah, women became his priority, not boxing anymore.
He was on that Solomon shit, man.
Yeah, and that's his fault. That's not nobody else's fault. There's no excuses. It's just facts. It's facts.
I believe that.
Hey, Don Judah, you got a background noise, so when you're not talking, can you mute your mic? And then when you talk, can you unmute it?
How you do this? How you don't hear too much?
There's a mic in the bottom left.
We all should give Haney his credit because no matter what, if we look at it like this, we know that nowadays it's always side A, side B. Back in the days it was no side A, side B. It was two champs, number one contender, and the champ fighting each other. That's how it was. Now it's side A, side B. Side A is Tank, side B is Haney. We know that, but if they get to fight each other with no dehydration clause, I believe that it's a 50-50 because Haney is in a very, very possible risk of getting knocked out. But Tank is going to be very hard to catch Haney. He's a very defensive fighter, like Shakur. It's very hard to fight these fighters because you can't catch them. And Tank, if you see his fights, he loses most of the rounds until he catches them with a luck. There's not no lucky shot. Ain't no lucky shot. Ain't no lucky shot in boxing because he trains those shots. He looks for those shots and he waits for those shots. But he basically loses all rounds. But nobody want to give Haney the credit of being smart and defensive. But if they get to fight together, to me, Tank wins because he's the side A, and of course, it's gonna be in 135 pounds with a dehydration clause.
No, Haney not going back down to 135. That's where you're wrong.
Then we'll probably
Tank has to go to 140 because all of his competition moved up. Moved up.
Then we never gonna see a fight. We never gonna see a fight between Tank and Haney because
then that's good. Just gonna be that. But Haney, why would Haney ever go back down? Even Pitbull Cruz,
Exactly, and I believe he's
Baby
not
Pit
going
was gonna
back
move
down.
up.
He's not, and Tank don't want to go up in 140. So
He had all of his contemporaries have moved up. Pitbull is smaller than Tank. He moved up to fight Rolly Romero. He's
yeah,
fighting Rolly Romero.
yeah,
Yep.
but not
So Tank
Tank.
don't
We're
have no
talking about
excuses, man.
Tank.
He gotta go up. That's
Tank.
if
Tank.
Pitbull can do it, Tank has like I'm telling you. Think about
Yeah,
it.
he can, but he won't because he already control that weight. Like Mayweather control his weight, like Canelo controlling his weight right now. Tank is controlling his weight. He's not gonna go up. That's just basic Tank. That's how the basic is. He's the money maker at 135. Dehydration clause. I'll give you 3 months. That's not enough time. Okay, you take the acceptations. You take the fight. If not, don't take it. That's how it is. It's boxing nowadays. It's business. That's why Haney moved to 140 because he knew what. Look at Ryan. Ryan had a chance, but he lost. Big KO. He got. I mean, and he said it. Look, I took all the shots. I dropped 135. I can't dehydrate. I have to make it at the weight of 135 at the day of the fight. 135. I can't dehydrate. Tank is fully dehydrated. But fuck it. I mean, I wanted to fight. I wanted to take the chance, and he took it, and he lost.
And he wanted to take the check.
Exactly. Everybody like Canelo. Canelo wanted to take the check with Mayweather. Oh, I wanted to fight. No, bullshit, man. You know it was big bucks. But after that, he caught that lesson. He said, you
I
know
like
what?
he said it was the big bucks.
Fucking right, man. It's millions. Why everybody wants Canelo? Why they don't want Benavides? Why they don't want Khaled? Why they don't want B-Ball? Why they all want Canelo, man? Because it's the money. Same with 135. There's plenty fighters, man, to make beautiful
Yeah,
fights.
man.
They all want
135
Tank.
stacked from top
They
to bottom.
all want Tank. They all want Tank. At 140, we got great fighters at 140. Finally, people in Rolly decided to step up. But other than that, nobody wants to. Nobody wants to. They all defending that 0-0-0 undefeated, and they all choosing and picking their opponents and with dehydration clauses. And finally, Romero and Pitbull said, "Fuck it, no
Right.
dehydration clause. 140, champ against champ, the best against the best. We finally
And
gonna
they
see
got
a
that as
Canelo
the
fight.
co-main, but that's really the main. Like
That's
that's the
really the
fight that I
main.
want
They
to
say it's the
see, boy.
co-man. Fuck Turman. Turman is gone, man. Pacquiao knocked the hell out of his ass. Yeah, imagine a freaking 40-year-old man came and knocked his ass in the first round, and he want to talk blah 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 blah. I never been knocked out. Motherfucker, you got knocked by a fucking Filipino 5'3". Shut the fuck up.
Oh shit! Damn.
Simple. And he want to talk about the Mexican style. It's hard to fight the Mexican style. For some
It
reason,
is hard.
everybody
12
walk
rounds is
around
hard
it.
to fight the Mexican style. It is.
Man, you know why I don't call it Mexican style. I call it the cannibal style. These motherfuckers go in there and just kill each other. I'll die in the ring. Fuck that.
Ah.
I get knocked in the first round. I'm out. I'm going to fucking Bahamas. Shit. Fuck that
Oh
shit.
shit, boy.
But yeah,
That's what Ryan. Hey, that's what Ryan did. Ryan could have kept going. Ryan
no,
said, "Fuck
Ryan
that, I
said,
got
fuck
my
that.
money."
6th round. I'm out. Hey, I ain't gonna make it. I knew I wasn't gonna make it. Ryan knew. Ryan knew, but hey, it was a big ass hell of a million fight now. I didn't have to let those millions go. It's
I
what
think
everybody
Devin.
doing nowadays, man. They taking the fight, taking the chance with those freaking clauses. That's why nobody could beat Mayweather. That's why nobody could beat Mayweather because
But Floyd ain't do the rehydration clause. He let Canelo hydrate up to 165.
no, but he dropped into his weight, and the day of the fight, you couldn't dehydrate on the weight.
Nah,
That's
that was
that's what
Pacquiao when he fought
Mayweather
Floyd.
does with every fighter. Same as Canelo does with his fighters. Now, same Tank does the same with his fighters. Same
Nah, that's
shit.
But Floyd didn't have a rehydration clause. Canelo came into the fight damn near 170 when he fought Floyd. And Floyd was 152.
Exactly, but he didn't fight on his original weight. When you don't fight, when you as a boxer, as a professional boxer, when you don't fight on your weight, even if you go 2 weights out like Crawford is trying to fight, he's trying to go 2 classes up, and Canelo is trying to stay on his weight, one from 168 to 160 to 162. I think they want to make it. Canelo is natural on that weight. Crawford is not natural. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're not natural on your weight, the day of the fight, you will realize you mistake. Look
But
at
he made Canelo was fighting at 150. Floyd made him come down to 152, and Floyd was going up in weight. So that's different.
No,
That ain't really, you know
no,
what I mean?
not on Canelo's fight. I think they fought on 152.
Yeah, they fought at 152, but Canelo was fighting at 154. Floyd made him go down an extra 2 pounds.
Exactly, and he couldn't dehydrate those 2 pounds. Believe me, bro. 2 pounds in the day of the
He
fight.
came into the fight over 165 pounds because Floyd didn't have a rehydration clause. No, he
Google it.
didn't. Look it up. Canelo came to the fight over 165
Oh no,
pounds
my
that
bad.
night.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He took the wrong position. Even fucking De La Hoya said they gave his ass too much clenbuterol. They got his ass too fucking heavy, too strong, trying to kill him. You're right. That's why he fucked up that night.
The
Because
reason he lost to Floyd just because Floyd was better than him, man. That's all.
yeah, no, Mayweather. I don't care what they
Now
say,
Tank,
man. I don't care what they
Tank
say,
should have
man.
did that rehydration clause on Ryan. He didn't need it. All they
Mayweather
do was mess
is
up
the
the
best,
legacy of
man.
fight.
It's the best fucking defense I ever seen. Boxing is not about letting yourself kill. It's about styles. And if you can go over that style, hey, my bad. Look at Maidana. Maidana ran over his ass the first 6 rounds. And then he got knocked. He got his ass back the last 6. But he went over that defense, something that nobody could do.
Yep.
So, hey, boxing is about styles, man. You can't hate the man because he can get hit. I mean, shit. You have to get hit for people to like you? Nah, hell no. Catch me. Yeah. Hey, you can catch me, hell on you.
Oh shit, man! This man, Fat Rivers is hilarious.
Wait, I was going to ask you, so KJ, what do you remember? Tank said? Do you believe what he said when he said he's just going to get these last few guys out of there and he's
And
done?
retired.
Do you think he means that, or is he just
Yeah, I think Tank really wants to fight. Eventually, he wants to fight Devin, Shakur, and whoever T.O. If Tank could beat all of those guys, he going to the Hall of Fame. People are gonna literally they're gonna forget about all of the so-so guys that he fought, and they're just gonna remember him knocking out the rest of his time. So literally, that's a great game plan for him, and it will allow him to retire in the next 3 years because he's been boxing since he was like 8 years old. He's probably tired of this shit.
for sure? And he's made a lot of money. He could retire.
Yeah, yeah. And look, these guys don't have to fight forever, man. Tank is a great boxer. We want the same thing like Canelo. Canelo don't have to fight David Benavidez. It's just great for the sport. Canelo already has Canelo is 10 times better than Tank. I'm not comparing their resumes, but Canelo's already put so much work into the sport. It is what it is. So if you don't fight Benavidez, you can only give him so much slack about it. But at the end of the day, it's great for the sport. That's why I be pushing for that shit. Because that'd be one hell of a. That's literally the biggest fight in boxing right now.
And let me say one more thing, bro. You see, there everybody says Benavidez. Man, I'm Mexican, and I'm gonna tell you something. Benavidez haven't done shit to deserve a fight against Canelo, man. He's the number 1 contender, but
What
how
did
many
John
times?
Ryder do to deserve a fight against Canelo?
Man, to me right now, Canelo don't fought on his prime and he's almost on his way out. He's almost
Yes.
so to me, Canelo deserves to fight whoever he wants, man. He don't have to me. I don't have to be like, oh, Canelo has to fight the best to be too bad. Canelo's been the best for too long. It's the chance for somebody else to step up, but only Benavidez has that. But Benavidez thinks by talking all that trashy shit, he's gonna convince Canelo of giving him a chance to fight. Man, Canelo's just gonna step him on the side. He never gonna give him a chance just because of that, and not because he's afraid of him. Because there is no boxer. I don't know. People keep saying, he's afraid of him. Oh, these boxers is afraid of this one. Or man, if you're afraid of somebody, you would never be a boxer. For some reason, you're a boxer because you're not.
Ali said he was scared of Sonny Liston. He said he was scared of George Foreman. These men are human beings. So
Michael Spinks was afraid of Tyson.
Get the job done. Mike Tyson used to cry before his fights.
It's not fear.
Spinks was afraid of Tyson.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's not fear. It's that you're gonna get your ass whipped.
But Ali beat Liston and Foreman though.
But in their mind, before that, they weak until they find out they're not. That's why I said there's no boxer that is scared, because once you get hit in the ring, and then you find a way to get out of that hit, and then you hit back, you realize you wasn't scared. You was just nervous about yourself. That's what I tell you. There ain't no boxer that is afraid.
He got his own brain, boy.
There ain't no boxer that says I'm afraid. Maybe you might be nervous of getting in the freaking ring for that night, but as soon as you get in or out, after that, you're like, man, what the fuck I was afraid of? It's not afraid. It's just, I don't know, man. I come from a whole
Nervous.
family. I come from a whole family of boxing. From my grandpa, from my dad, from my uncle, us amateurs and everything. And let me tell you something. Is it's more fucking. It's more worse to. It's more worse to be afraid of the people is around you than the same boxers, because some boxers got some great records, and then you find out the motherfuckers around you are playing you around with your fights and your record, and then do stuff that you don't want to do, and that's what damages everything. So unboxing is not just about. It's about everything, man. It's about who controls the fights too. It's about who wants you to win, who wants you to lose. It's a big ass
Right.
fucking mafia thing.
Yeah, boxing is like that, bro. It's just like that. It's a dirty game, and if you don't have the right connections, it's gonna be hard for you to get connected.
It
Period.
is. It is,
Right.
man. It is. People always tell me to why I don't train my kids for boxing. Man, I said, man, fuck that. Put them on soccer or football, because at the end of the day, you realize that you put your kids through a big sufferment. Boxing is not. It's not a good sport, man. It's a sufferment sport, because you
Yeah.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
You sacrifice, man. You sacrifice every freaking thing, and then you get to see your kid, sometimes win, sometimes get his ass kicked, and and some people you laugh, some people get pissed off. They don't like getting their kids getting slapped.
Yeah.
But and then you realize at the end that everything you did wasn't worth it. It's fucked up. So, hey man, boxing is beautiful to watch and shit, but to me, every boxer that made it to the very to the pros deserves, like Haney and
All right,
Tank
Hafid.
and
Hey man,
people.
I gotta give you your props for your little soliloquy, but my boy Levi up in here was good, Levi.
How you doing? Yeah. And Javed, I like the little point you made. Like, this is not a sport for the weak, and a lot of people who make it anywhere in it should be given their props.
Else, because you can die in there. We have to be
Yes.
honest. You can die in.
Yeah, one bad leak and you gone. And not just that, man. For one fight, you gotta train. You gotta train like, phew,
Months. For months.
man. You can't fuck. You can't eat. You can't drink. You can't do this. You can't do that. And fuck, man. At the end of the day, they steal the freaking fight from you.
Oh
You're
yeah,
like,
that's the worst feeling.
man, you wanna kill the motherfucker.
Yeah, that's some bullshit, right? That's the worst feeling. And there's still a fight just because you in a different state.
That's it. Or because you're not in the right click.
Yeah.
It's simple. Hey man, boxing is a motherfucker, man. I'm telling you. If you really, 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 and I'm gonna tell you who really made it. Who is the only ones that really made it to the fucking pros? The people that come from nothing, that got nothing to lose.
True.
The only freaking people, because they got all that freaking anger in their heart.
Yeah.
Anger. That's all you got in your freaking heart. Anger. And you're gonna beat the shit out of the motherfuckers in front of you because you come from the shit.
Yeah, they're like Barroso, man. They said they took out that man's wife. And you see how he been doing, motherfuckers. So they killed
They
his
took his
wife,
wife?
and he been killing his opponent.
Yep.
But yo, Levi, what you think, man? Can Devin Haney become a bigger star than Tank Davis?
Possibly. I mean, if he starts putting people away, because people watch Tank because they know about 95% of the time he puts his opponents away.
Knockout.
Yes, because most of the casual fans don't come to watch you put on master classes where you make a guy look like he doesn't belong in the ring with you. They watch you knock his lights out. Like Tank, even though a lot of his opponents are not elite level, he's still knocking them out. People like watching knockouts.
And people
Like,
the casual fan, they don't know the rankings of these guys. They don't know who your opponent is. They can care less for real, unless they don't like you. Like if they don't like you personally, they might ask you, well, who it was that you fought. But the average person, they see a knockout, they're happy, they're satisfied. So Tank has been giving the people what they want.
Yeah, because like to the casual fan, like in the next few fights, Haney could go knock out some more bums like he did at the beginning of his career, and they'd all be happy.
So basically what you're saying is Haney, he can't be all about legacy if he wants to be a star. He might have to dumb down his game plan, fight a little bit of tomato cans, and get some highlight reel knockouts.
Probably. I mean, if Tank is getting away with it, they can't really use that excuse for him.
I like he said Tank getting away with it.
Let me ask you something. Who's Devin Haney trainer? Is it Bill?
Yeah.
Bill, it's
All right, he
it's
need a
Bill,
new
but
trainer,
he
and
works
maybe
in
he'll start getting some
conjunction.
knockouts.
One, who's that
Hold up.
English
What you say?
trainer?
Go
I
ahead,
think
Don.
is that
Go Don Judah. Go ahead.
If he get a new trainer, other than his father, who's protecting him in that ring, don't do this, don't do this, don't
Yeah,
initiate.
he said that in the Regis
actually?
fight,
Maybe
man. I didn't like
Yeah,
that.
the kid got
yeah.
size on him. He has to have more power than that. I mean, he
Actually,
dropped
doesn't it?
Regis. You know, he didn't knock him out, but he at least put him on his butt. So he
But when he
got to have
did,
some
his
power.
father told him, "Don't." He said, "Hey, man, stick to the game plan. Don't get him
Yeah.
yet." And it's like,
So
bruh, Haney trying to become this star. You gotta let them go.
Yeah.
He has the
hmm
stamina to open up on guys. He could do it.
his
He got
father
the
is
size.
babying. His father is babying him. So if
It's
Well,
you get a new
it's
trainer.
not
well, it's not just his father in there. Bill Haney works in conjunction with Ben Davison to come up with the game plans.
not just that,
Yeah,
bro.
that's his father.
You gotta
So
look at it's his father. His father is not gonna send him to the wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Don Judah was saying. Because
That's plain simple.
having your father as a trainer, like Sean Porter. Sean Porter dad, the reason he stopped that fight because that's his son. It was kind of personal. You see, Derrick James, Errol Spence was in there about to die. Derrick James ain't throwing not one towel, not one napkin. He ain't throwing a damn a penny
Hell no.
because it's not.
Don,
You don't have that same type of relation. Y'all just two men,
mm,
as opposed to it being your
mm.
actual son. You don't want to see his son's brains get scrambled. So
Well,
maybe maybe they need to get somebody else to work the corner, or maybe
well,
Bill got to say, "Look, go ahead and let it rip," and he just got to live with the consequences.
that's the
well, what you're
thing
saying
about
about the dads being the first one to throw the towel in, do you think Teo's dad would be the kind of guy to do that?
Yeah, if Tio start getting his ass tore up, he'll do it because you gotta understand when your father is gonna be thinking about after boxing. A boxing coach, he thinking about boxing in the moment. He not thinking about how to fuck you up. But your father, they're gonna be thinking like, bruh, this man got kids. I love my son. I want him to be here. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
Tio dad would throw that towel in if Tio was getting tore up.
exactly.
When it comes to
But
fathers,
but even with Tio, I
okay,
think he needs to get another trainer. Don't get rid of your father, but just get somebody to help him out.
No, you got to get rid of him. His father's still going to control his corner. See, his father love his son. Trainer. An outside trainer is thinking about his 10%.
Yep.
If I throw this towel in, my next 10% is gone, possibly.
Right.
So that's what they thinking. A father is like,
They're not trying to
man,
get fired. Yep.
yeah. So this is my grandson's father. This is the man who's raising my grandkids. This is my son.
Listen,
you know,
some father-son
I'm gonna tell you
relationships in
something.
the sport work out, some don't. Roy did not have his dad
Hey,
in his
right,
corner all the time. Floyd did not have his dad in his corner all the time.
well,
For the same reason.
Don the Jew. I have a question for Don the Judah.
yeah,
Did you say you're 55?
yeah.
Did you watch Ali versus Foreman?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it, but I didn't know what I was watching. But I did see. I come from a fighting family too, so all my brothers was watching it. I was there, but I was too young to know what I was watching. But I did.
Wow, but you witnessed history. See, that's like 50. That's 50 years ago as of this year, 1970. Wow.
Yeah, I was a little kid. I watched. My whole family watched it, but I didn't. Like I said, I didn't know what I was watching at the time. But I still watched it. But when I was being older, you get to know what people are saying I was a former fighter, so I'm saying in the gyms and in the streets. So sometimes when you didn't see fight, you only could go by what the media said and what they write and what they think was said 50 years ago.
Exactly.
But when you was actually living and you know what people were saying in the gyms and in the street about different fighters, you would know more than somebody who just Google it
Just read it.
or just read an article. That's what I be trying to say about the experience. When you have that experience, you know a little more. Saying that if we even on our love of boxing, like if we all love boxing, but I'm 55, so when we talk about Aaron Pryor versus Alexis Aguero, you're gonna just go by what the media said, and that I'm gonna go by what the gyms were saying at that time when
And the
I was,
people in the
what they
streets,
were
like you were
talking
saying.
about, like that. And if you wasn't there to know that, you're gonna miss out.
Yeah. Hey, I agree, man. Don Judah, he was there. He's 55. He was there with the people in the streets, man. So basically, I had to turn somebody's mic off because it was, repeating. Anyways, basically, he has inside information. That's what he's saying. He was an insider. He was there. He was there having personal conversation in real time. So that's the best place to be at. And because in history, all facts get lost. No matter how accurate you try to be, facts get lost. It's like a game of telephone. These news reporters, sometimes they report what they want to report. They don't report the actual story because they have agendas. So I'm glad that he up here on this live setting shit straight, and we glad that we got his perspective.
And Mike Tyson wasn't a bum.
Yeah, Mike Tyson wasn't no bum.
No
I
bum.
think Mike
No
Tyson,
bum.
the thing with me, I got to call out that there's heavyweights who his talent he would have been better than, but he just didn't live up to his potential because of a lot of different factors. One of them being his upbringing. So
That's a fact.
but Mike was the man. I mean, he damn sure wasn't no bum. Only thing I just wish that they taught Mike how to fight going backwards. He would have been 10 times with that much power. If he knew how to fight going backwards instead of just forward, he would have. He probably killed somebody.
I think he was still developing when he got rid of Kevin Rooney. That kind of ruined his development.
His later day, it would have helped out in his later days. Like my brother used to always say, he was. I couldn't even tell you half of the stuff my brother could tell you if he was here. Mike Tyson needed to learn different things, not for his early career, but for when he slowed down. When you rely on speed, you're going to deteriorate way quicker than somebody like a Lennox Lewis, a Holyfield. So he needed other things. Like Ali used the rope-a-dope or whatever, his mind, his IQ.
Slowed down. Ali could take one hell of a beat. I was watching a fight with Ali and Bob Foster the other day. Ali could take a hell of a beating, man. I don't even think most boxers even want to do that. Ali would.
And Bob Foster cut him up, right?
Huh?
Didn't Bob Foster cut him up?
But Bob Foster, he had him bleeding, but I don't think he cut him too bad. But he did have him bleeding. One thing is that I would allow himself to be hit in the jaw and the body. He didn't give a fuck because his whole mindset is I'm going to beat you. Most fighters don't have that mentally, but when you go watch Ali in the 70s when he couldn't move the same, he could take one hell of a beating.
Yeah.
And that's I guess you could say that's a skill as well. I mean, the Mexicans they display it a lot.
That's
One thing about
his
Ali,
strength.
he wouldn't let you catch him with a combination.
Huh?
You might hit him once. You ain't gonna hit Ali with a combination.
No.
You ain't gonna get that second one. Ain't gonna connect.
No. But Ali, his ability to take a punch, that was his greatest strength. But like we saw later in his life, that proved to be a great weakness for him.
But you know what though? If he would have stopped after the Thriller in Manila, he'd have been fine. Ali was old as hell, still trying to get up in there. Like he should have never fought Ernie Shavers. He should have never fought.
Ernie, but who the hell that late?
Where a lot of the damage was. If he would have just stopped after the Thriller in Manila, he probably would have been fine, man. Like this man was 40-something years old.
Yeah, I remember.
Without a speed bone in his body, getting hit with flush shots by young up and coming heavyweights. But he was addicted to the boxing. He was addicted to fame.
Yeah.
I remember something that Sylvester Stallone said about he was in the arena for the Ali Shavers fight. He said that with one of the right hands that Shavers hit Ali with, he expected Ali's head to go flying.
With the Holmes, he got back up. I didn't think Holmes was that shape.
Ernie Shavers hit like a beast.
They don't mention him because he never was a world title winner, but he's right up there with Sonny Liston, George Foreman, all those guys. But he never wore that belt, so they kind of like
he had stamina issues, man. If he had good stamina, he'd have been straight. He had stamina issues.
Yeah,
like Ernie would get tired of that motherfucker.
Winging them bombs all day. Couldn't fight for nothing. He could wing them bombs.
In that second fight, when he knocked him down, the way Larry went down and the impact of the punch, it looked like he got hit with a shotgun.
Yeah, I think Mike Tyson said that as well.
And that's how loud the punch was.
I think Devin Haney is kind of marketing himself.
What do y'all think about my boy Julian Jackson?
Ooh.
We talking about pound for pound. think Julian Jackson might have been the hardest puncher that ever.
You think he hit
No,
harder? You think he hit harder than G-Man?
Yeah. You remember, he was kind of old when he fought G-Man. I love G-Man. Yo, I'm going to tell you something you might not believe. I actually seen G-Man fight Roy Jones.
Sparring?
I seen that. No, it was a National Golden Glove semifinals.
Oh, shit.
My boy Orlando Hollis was fighting.
Who?
Actually, Orlando Hollis was from I was in the Army. I wasn't fighting. I didn't make the Golden Gloves for National. They was fighting for the National Golden Gloves in Colorado Springs. And actually, David Diaz was fighting too. David Diaz, Floyd. I didn't know who the hell Floyd Mayweather was at the time, but Floyd Mayweather won. My boy Orlando Hollis won. David Diaz won, and Gerald McClellan beat Roy Jones in the semifinals, but he broke his hand. This was 88, 87,
Wow.
87. He broke his hand, so he couldn't fight for the title. So that eliminated him from the
And
Olympic
that's why
trials.
Roy went. Roy passed, right?
Roy went to the Olympic trials because
G-Man broke his hand.
G-Man broke his hand. He couldn't win the title, so they didn't go to the Olympic trials. So Roy Jones got to the Olympic trials and had a cakewalk and was thanking God that G-Man wasn't there.
That's you know what's crazy? Roy could have fought the man as a pro. You know what's crazy?
He didn't want to.
Guess who else beat Roy in the amateurs?
Who else? Oh, Tarver.
Antonio Tarver.
But they beat each other.
But yeah, they beat each other. But you saw that in the pros, some of these guys that gave Roy problems in the amateurs, they would have given him problems in the pros as well. We didn't get to see G-Man versus Roy, but that fight was right on the right in the makings. But we know what happened with G-Man in the Ben fight. But that was,
I still think Roy wouldn't have fought him. Roy would have ran the light heavyweight because he did. He ran. He ran. He ran up to fight. What's the
Roy ain't run.
The pretty boy. He fought the pretty boy. I forgot it, and he hit him with a body shot and knocked him out. Virgil Hill.
Virgil Hunter?
Silver medal winner. He fought
I
him.
only remember that because of the song, man. Stop Virgil Hill with the body.
Y'all must forgot.
Ran from Gerald. Roy could have made history in the middleweight. After he beat Bernard Hopkins, right, for the title, the vacant title, he wouldn't fight nobody. I remember this clear because this was my era. He wouldn't fight James Toney. He wouldn't fight Michael Nunn. He wouldn't, even when Gerald came up, he ran. He went to 160.
Tony.
That's why didn't he fight G-Man? How come he didn't never fight the Hawk, man?
Oh no, the Hawk was G-Man destroyed the Hawk. Hawk was still 154. He moved up.
He was done.
He moved up. And remember, he fought the British and he knocked the British dude. The British dude was killing him, outboxing the heck out of him. And then he caught him with that left hook on it. Was it a right? It was a right hand and knocked him out. And he won he won the vacant middleweight title. But then he 2 times and he ran into G-Man.
Okay.
That was it. But he was older, and then he went back to 154, started getting knocked out by everybody.
Because he was done after that. G-Man took a lot out of him.
Yeah, he was done because G-Man took 2 fights with G-Man, got knocked out in the first round.
I thought he fought what? He fought twice?
Twice, yeah. He did the rematch. But remember, he was the champ, so it was a rematch clause. So when he lost to G-Man by KO, he thought he got KO'd in the first round the second time. That was kind of hurtful. It was a good fight, the first one, but the second one wasn't. I felt like he shouldn't have fought him. Like he should have retired.
Retired with that 1L, huh?
Yeah, but when you're dealing with Don King, you don't make any money. I had a stablemate by the name of Lonnie Bradley. He was the WBO middleweight champ when William Joppy and Keith Holmes and Bernard Hopkins was the big belts. This is before the WBO was recognized. We used to call it the W Bogus. And my man Lonnie Bradley was the champ. Yeah, we used to call it the W Bogus. We used to tease him with that. But he was a world champ. We didn't deny him. But I done lost my train of thought on that. But I know a lot of fighters, man. I grew up with a lot. My number one fighter was a guy named Iran Barkley.
Yeah.
Ooh,
he fought an old ass Roberto Duran.
Yeah,
I think Burns.
God, that was a great fight. But he knocked out Tommy Hearns, and then he was the first one
into space with that punch.
Yeah, then he was the first one to outbox Tommy Hearns at the light heavyweight division, meaning he won a 12-round decision on Hearns. That was my big brother. You know, that's his nephew, his grandnephew played football for
Saquon.
the Giants, Saquon. Yeah. So Barkley was my boy. It was sad when I went back to New York. I seen him.
Barkley is the
Yeah.
uncle of Saquon Barkley. Wow.
Grand uncle. Yeah, grand uncle of Saquon Barkley. Yeah. A very athletic family.
Yep.
Very athletic.
It's very sad. It's sad what had happened to Ivan Barkley later on.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I went back to New York. I seen him leaning up on the fence, could barely walk. So I went to him. Everybody that used to admire him and used to get money from him in Patterson was just standing there walking past him. I went to him and, you know, he didn't recognize me or nothing. But I was a little kid in the gym when they was, because he older than me. I was a little kid in the gym with him, and he didn't remember until I started naming the trainers. And he was like, "Oh shit, you know all them trainers you got."
He knew that you really was there and said,
Yeah, so he sold all his belts to the store across the street from the projects. It was a sad story. He was homeless on alcohol. I just felt bad for him, man. I felt really bad. But his nephew got him out of the hole.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, man, I got to get out of here. My phone on less than 10%. Triple X,
right.
Levi, especially Don Jr. brought a lot of that wisdom and a lot of that experience to the live that you had, man. I appreciate that. T-Street, Wickedy, everybody that came up, the Mexican dude that was up earlier. I appreciate everybody adding to the live, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right, you have a good one, y'all.
KJ, Ryan's gonna win.